So it's a rainy day, so I thought I'd talk about something I've had for about a month or so, and that is the Canon Powershot V1 here. I have found myself really enjoying this camera, like way more than I thought I would. And I used to have the DJI Pocket 3, and that's a great little camera, but there's certain aspects of this camera that I just enjoy so much more than the Pocket 3. Some of the things I enjoy about the Powershot V1 over the Pocket 3 are, one, the dedicated buttons. Having dedicated buttons and not having to use the screen to adjust settings is wonderful. Actually having a grip on the camera is really nice. Dedicated zoom rocker here. Easy switching between like a dedicated photo video switch, just and you're in photo and video mode. The built-in ND. I really hated using the magnetic adapters on the front of the lens for the Pocket 3. Also stacking a wide angle lens and then an ND filter, and this just has an ND built in, and the focal length you get out of this is a 16 to 50 millimeter, which is absolutely perfect for me. And Canon somehow packed in a really interesting sensor in this. It's a micro 4/3 size sensor, so 1.4 inch sensor. So what that means is it's roughly micro 4/3 in size, but it's in a 3:2 aspect ratio instead of a 4:3. So it's just a wider sensor versus a taller sensor. But roughly the math comes out to roughly having a 2x crop over full frame. The image quality is pretty comparable. The Pocket 3 has a 20 millimeter f2 lens. You're really splitting hairs when you compare the two images. So another aspect of this camera that no reviewer really has said anything about is the fact that it's a box. It's a boxy camera. It has a flat bottom. You can set it on the ground, turn it on, 16 millimeter, get amazing angles and shots and perspectives with this camera with like zero fuss. No tripod needed, something like this. Like this doesn't go low enough to the ground. And then a phone is made to fit in your pocket. So it's really thin. So when you go to set it on the table, it just falls down because it's just this thing. So you're like out in the field trying to prop it up on something and it just doesn't work. Another advantage I think of the Powershot V1 is it actually shoots a proper log, shoots C-Log 3, which is pretty good. Everybody prefers C-Log 2, of course, but you know, you're expecting a lot out of a small little sensor like this. Heating up my coffee. Perfect. As we know, no camera is perfect, and there's a few issues with the Powershot V1. First one that comes to mind is the zoom rocker is way too sensitive. Even in video mode, when you have it, when you're actively recording and you want to do like a zoom in or zoom out, it's way too fast. I wish you could change the speed of the zoom rocker. And then in photo mode, when you use the zoom rocker, it's even faster. It's really hard to kind of dial in the focal range you want. And I find you kind of do this like, oh, you went too far, go back, oh, back, and you just kind of like doing this zoom in, zoom out thing until you get the framing you want. It's kind of ridiculous. So Canon, in a firmware update, make it so you can set the speed of the zoom rocker. Another downside of this camera that I don't like is we have a really nice control ring on the front, on the lens, but there's no other dial on the camera, just on the back. And it's super fiddly. This little D-pad spinny wheel is so hard to use. It's so small. It's nice to have that it's there, but it's really hard to use. I find myself constantly, you know, fat fingering the buttons because it's so sensitive. Another downside is the 1/4-20 on the back is too close to the door. So when you have it mounted, you can't open the door, so you have to unscrew it. So hopefully a small rig cage could help alleviate that by putting the 1/4-20 over here and leaving this door enough room to open. I kind of bought this also thinking that I could switch it into photo mode and use the wide angle lens to be able to get some sneaky, cheeky landscape shots at 16mm. The lens I don't think is quite up to snuff sharpness wise for that. It's perfectly adequate for video. But having said that, DxO, who makes Photolab and DxO Pure Raw, hasn't released a lens module for this yet. So maybe they can save this camera for landscapes. If they can get a DxO lens module for this that helps correct lens softness where it needs it most, it could actually potentially be a decent walk-around photo camera for landscapes because you have that 16mm on the wide end, which is amazing for a compact. What else is there to say about this camera? I love using it. And at the end of the day, I think that matters the most. If you love using the gear you have the correct gear. All right, so that's the Canon Powershot V1 in my opinion for what I use it for. If you have any questions about the camera, please leave them in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer any questions you have. What else? Like and subscribe, all that business. Hopefully I'll be out in the field to make more videos. It has just been a beautiful spring here in Pennsylvania, and I'm looking forward to this year. Got some trips planned. Hopefully soon we'll get back out. See ya. Oh man, that's surprisingly good instant coffee. All right.